Hello, and in this video, this is a continuation from my bus terminus video that I uploaded a couple days ago, but you don't need to have watched that video in order to see what's going on in this video. It's just basically, someone in the comments asked, how do cars and other traffic turn around through the tram line? Because as I had it in the other video, only buses could cross the tram line. So this is showing a sort of intersection in the middle of town that allows the two avenues to connect and also to cross the tram line with minimal effect on traffic. My idea of this is that it's basically in the middle of town. It's the main junction, the main artery of the town, so it needs a big intersection in order to handle the amount of traffic that flows through this area. And it does quite a good job at handling the amount of traffic with it, because it has there are 4 traffic lights in this, and that never once has it backed up. It's quite good, and I have not tweaked the traffic lights. I haven't used the time traffic lights or anything. I just simply switched the traffic light option on in Traffic President, and it worked perfectly. There was not a problem to be had. So I'll get into a bit of what I'm doing in the video. What I am doing here is adding some road markings to the rows to show lanes. And what I've taken to doing is, still using the bike lane asset, is to double it up so that there are 2 joining each other, and then simply copying it and placing them in the line, because they better fit the line that I have from, I think it's German roads. They better fit the size. It would be nice to have different sizes of lines, like white clear lines that are like properly done, because I don't know, because some of the white lines, they have really weird hitboxes. Like, instead of it being in the center, it will be on one of the corners, and that makes no sense. Why would it be on a corner? It should be in the center. But oh well, I don't make these things, so maybe it's hard to do. I don't know. So here I am adding the bus area. Just a minimal amount of detailing at the start, until I realise that this one way is not going to cut it, because I have 4 bus stops stopping there, and it's just it's too busy. So I have to add another lane later on, so it doubles up. Because I didn't want this to be a massive one, but since there are so many stops there, I saw I had to add a double one. But oh well. And here I am thinking about adding a pedestrian bridge overpass, But I can never get these to work and look nice. I don't know what it is, but I just can't work out how to get them to look good. I mean, they look alright, but they don't look super realistic, which is the problem. I don't know, I've never seen many pedestrian bridges like anywhere, so I don't really know how they work, and you can't really get very much view from a picture, or even Google Earth. I don't know, maybe one day I'll find a good spot for one, but at the moment I have no idea how in the earth to make a pedestrian bridge work. I don't know. If anyone can link to pictures or a good show of how to get them to work. I think the main problem is that just the pedestrian bridges in city skylines are weird. They're too big. They're too wide. It's just they're not fit for purpose for what I want, I suppose. They can be obviously good in some certain scenarios, but at the moment I haven't found a good place to put a pedestrian bridge that would make sense. So there I was adding the tile decal to the concreted pavement, because this is going to be a big area with and there's the big sculpture in the middle. It's in America somewhere, that sculpture, but for the life of me I can't remember where it is. It could be in Chicago or that area, but I can't remember. So I just add more sort of art sculptures around the place. There's those two red sort of wave-like structures that the pedestrians walk through. That's where the path goes through and leads to the tram stops. I also have added so it's sort of a memorial on the other side. It's from the Natural Disasters DLC, and I believe it's unlocked when you have a lot of casualties from a natural disaster, but I've got the unlock everything, so I just use that because it looks quite nice. It looks more like a war memorial the way it is done, but I don't think it is a war memorial. It is a casualty memorial sort of thing. It fits fairly decently. I didn't know what else to put really in that giant area, so it fit all right. Right there, you could see the town that I was that is like off screen most of the time, and how they were crying for everything. They were crying for healthcare. They were crying because there was too many dead people. They were just, I don't know. It was a bit of a pain, but I don't have to worry about those people because they mean nothing to me. And there I am, just adding more lines, just to add to the sort of feeling that this is a continuous junction. That it doesn't end at where the other road meets it, because that's the main problem with City Skylines roads, is that obviously when you connect them together, they sort of end, but obviously they continue. But all the detail and things just ends, so you got to add that yourself to make it look more realistic. I mean, the lines don't have to be perfect; they just have to be there. I've found for it to work nicely and to fit in. So here I go, detailing the main square with some planters and some flowers. Now you may notice that I use these flowers a lot, mainly because they can be raised, because they are not a tree or a plant or anything, they are a prop. So it allows you I can raise them and lower them with prop snapping and move it, and it's great. I wish there was a couple other designs, because I use them a lot and I would like to use other ones, but at the moment I haven't found any that fit nicely with. And I think there's a couple like side planters that I found, but they're very small, very tiny. They don't really fit what I want them to fit. This is me adding the bushes and the trees and the plants to the area, just filling in the areas where it would just be tiled or concrete. And now I've moved on to the bus stop, just adding a little bit of detail. As you can see, there are now not 4 lanes, there's 2 lanes, each one way, each with 2 bus stops on, and I found that it works quite well. The buses only get stuck for a tiny bit, and it doesn't really affect the times on how long it takes, because they don't wait for very long at all. And I just go through and tile a bit and just around the bus stop, just to make it stand out a tiny bit, because I find that it was a bit bland otherwise. It just, I don't know, this didn't feel like a city centre. Like, it didn't feel like a lot of money had been poured into this area, because obviously you want a city centre to look the best. So that's sort of what I did. And I had a lot of these concrete walkway decals, sort of showing where pedestrians can walk. So it's a visual guide for pedestrians. And you might saw there that I had problems with cars parking on the sides of the one-way 2-lane roads. And the trick is to get them to move is to place a bus stop, then exactly on where the car is parked, then remove it. But the only problem is, if it's a 2-lane one-way road, buses can only stop on one side of the road. They can't stop on the other. So you can only get rid of half of them, which does suck, because it's annoying. I wish there was a 2-lane one-way road, and even just a 2-lane road that was as big as the 2-lane roads are now, but you couldn't park cars on. Maybe that will be added one day, but as it is, I just changed to the 2-lane highway from Network Extensions 2, and that works alright, but the problem with that is it doesn't have any pavements, and it's raised slightly compared to the other roads, but it worked. It looks alright, looks half decent. So that's all the detailing mainly done for the main intersection, and now I get on to the surrounding details. Now I've downloaded a lot of new buildings that I've found on the workshop. A lot are very low rise, no higher than 5-6 stories. And I'm just going through the lists, looking to see what would fit best in this area. I was thinking mainly like businesses and shops on one side, and mainly houses on the other. So I think it turned out fairly well, fairly nice looking. There's a couple of hotels on either end that are corner buildings. Corner buildings are great. They fill the gaps between roads. Are just so amazing. There needs to be more corner buildings, but there isn't really much more to talk about, so I'm just going to leave it here, leave it run. I do more detailing on the car parks and stuff like that, so I'm just going to let the time lapse run, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.